Guys, there's breaking news out of Israel tonight. As you know, Iran attacked with ballistic missiles. Israel is now saying 181 ballistic missiles. That attack finished about 45 minutes ago. It's now 9:14 p.m. We're standing in central Israel. You guys know our studio here at the Israel Guys is on Har Bracha, which is the Mount of Blessing, right in the middle of Samaria, the Shamron, Judea and Samaria. So we're standing right now. I'm facing directly north where the missile barrage attack came from. Obviously, you can see the lights in the south behind us. It's a little too far, but basically Jerusalem is to the south of us. This was the craziest attack that any of us have ever witnessed or been a part of. We got a lot of the footage we'll be showing you on the screen, firsthand footage that we got. Israel is actually saying this is the largest rocket or missile attack in their history since the founding of the state of Israel. Just hundreds of rockets and missiles flying overhead, north to south, and obviously the Iron Dome working overtime, Iron Dome working from multiple directions in all the country. We'll show you the map that shows the red alert. Basically, you guys have probably seen this app, and it shows where the rockets are hitting in Israel. This is the first time I've ever seen the entire map of the state of Israel covered in red dots, meaning that these missiles threatened or targeted every part of Israel, from the northern tip almost all the way to the southern tip to the Red Sea. These were not homemade rockets from Hamas in Gaza. They were not even missiles from Hezbollah in Lebanon. These were ballistic missiles fired on the state of Israel with the intent to kill, destroy, and do as much harm as possible. And amazingly, there are no reported deaths so far, except there's a few rumors that maybe Jericho had a missile fall on them. There'll be more details coming about that later. Possibly one Arab or Palestinian Arab killed in Jericho.
Out celebrating in the streets.
Obviously, he was outside because he was celebrating the attack. We'll get to more of that in a second. But no deaths from the ballistic missile attack from Iran as reported yet. Thankfully, Israel has basically said it's safe to come out. Iran has obviously said they're still going to attack again tonight, but Israel's already reopened their skies. Ben Gurion Airport's functioning again, so it kind of remains to be seen what's going to happen. But thank God everyone in the country seems to be safe for the time being.
You know, I think the big differences between this attack and the other attack, the Iranian attack, is that you know, we had a big buildup, like, oh, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. We had 12 minutes this time, like it was just a totally different feeling, and boom, it was here. The other big difference is that it all happened right over our heads. Yeah. Right where we're standing right now is where the rockets were all shot down. We were here with the first response teams, and literally as we were here, and rockets, I mean hundreds, because for every rocket that's being shot by Iran and Lebanon in this direction, you have multiples of the Iron Dome, which just makes the sky completely full. It's something I talked to the local security guy. He said, never has he ever seen anything like this. Like, this is just an insanity of what's going on here. And so these multiples of the Iron Dome shooting up just made for a sky absolutely filled with rockets, which is really
and from multiple directions,
shaking.
Like so much that you lost track of rockets going east to west, west to east, you know, and which ones were the Iron Dome, which ones were missiles, which ones were rockets, you know, north to south. And then seeing, because you're outside and you're hearing shrapnel landing. Yeah. I'm on the porch of my roof, and I'm seeing missiles like streaking down straight towards. I've never been in a situation where I thought a missile could directly impact my house or the houses, all my neighbors or the communities all around us. Obviously a very, very scary time. We will show you, I was standing on my front porch so there was two barrages, right? There was a first barrage with probably at least 100 missiles or so just coming, streaking overhead. And then there was about a 4 or 5 minute lull. And then there was a second barrage with probably more missiles in the second barrage. And towards the end of that second barrage, all of a sudden shrapnel started falling. The first indication I got was I'm standing on my front porch filming this footage for you guys because I knew the world has to see and has to understand what's going on. and I heard a thud about 50 feet from my front door. And after it was all over, we found this piece of shrapnel, which we will show. One of the guys went to go grab it. If we can't find it in time, we'll put a picture of it up on the screen. And then you're outside just hearing like smaller thuds all around you, just tons of pieces of little metal
just like
falling from the sky.
Kind of just whack the ground right beside you. But I'll tell you what was so just wild. It happened with the first Iranian attack. It happened again this time. As we mentioned, over in Jericho, supposedly there's an Arab herd. I don't know the whole story yet, hadn't come out. But that same thing happened in all the Arab villages around me. When the rockets started going, we started hearing the cheers, the whistles, the celebrations, the fireworks, the firing of weapons, the guns. That's an Arab tradition. When they're excited, they go and shoot their guns in the air. This happened literally right behind us.
The lights you're saying behind us is just...
These are all Arab villages that were celebrating the attack that just occurred. To me, that's baffling. I can't get my mind around it, but it does tell us one thing. It tells us that I want this to be very clear to all of those of you listening. We're a bit fired up because we just experienced a existential threat against us and the whole nation of Israel, everyone that stands with Israel. These people are not peace partners. These people are arch enemies of the nation of Israel. And if you doubt that it's the whole community, why was there an uproar from the community of support for Iran and Iran's goal of annihilating this country? This has to be known to you. This has to come forth. This is the truth. This is the feeling that's here on the ground, is these Arab neighbors are with Iran in Iran's attempt to annihilate this nation of Israel.
Let's just make it really clear. And I mean, if we're sounding a little stronger than normal, give us a little room, because every person in Israel just lived through the same attack that we did, with literally an attempt to annihilate the state of Israel, every corner of the map. Let's just make this very clear. The majority of the Palestinian Arabs that live in the so-called West Bank, that the world has been trying for decades to create a Palestinian state with the so-called two-state solution to give this land we're standing on right now, the majority of them were screaming and yelling and celebrating the fact that Iran was trying to destroy Israel with ballistic missiles. The same people that in the same land that the UN just voted to kick Israel and kick the Jewish people out of within the next 12 months. The UN literally just voted that Israel has to withdraw from this territory. 800,000 Jews have to be kicked out of this territory. The people that would take over are the people that were just screaming less than a mile down the hill from where we're standing right now, maybe half a mile below us, screaming and yelling in celebration. These are the people who were celebrating the fact that they were just hoping and praying that Jews would be murdered en masse while Iran attacked. Guys, this is the shrapnel that fell 50 feet from my front door. It's obviously a very big piece of shrapnel, and then we're trying to figure out if it came from the Iron Dome or it came from a missile. We're thinking, based off of photos and videos we've seen of missiles that have fallen, that this probably came from one of the ballistic missiles, obviously blown out of the sky by the Iron Dome, and then thud, just landed almost on top of our heads. This was very real, and definitely something to get your blood pumping and your heart beating very fast.
Well, I guess there's going to be more to talk about, but what I'm understanding now is that Israel can't just keep doing this. This is the second round of this already, and this is unacceptable. I believe the world is waking up to this, that Israel must do something. And if I was an Iranian right now, for the second time, you've been unsuccessful. And I think there's going to be a successful Jewish state of Israel response that if I was an Iranian, I would start getting ready. And you're going to be surprised. As Netanyahu just said yesterday, it's sooner than you think.
Guys, and I think we need to say this too. Whether you're Jewish or you're Christian, basically if you believe in the Bible, the God of Israel never slumbers or sleeps. And we saw that firsthand right now. We could talk about the Iron Dome.
Yeah.
It was the finger of God just taking missiles out of the sky. God's eyes and his hands are always on this land.
Yeah.
And the Jewish people are his chosen people. And you better align yourself with God's promises for Israel and the Jewish people, because that's the only place where you're safe. And we saw that firsthand. We are people who believe in the book. We're people who believe in the Bible. And we just witnessed firsthand God's hand of protection on this nation. For those of you who would like to get involved in supporting Israel, obviously the best thing you can do is pray for Israel right now, stand with them publicly, stand with Israel on social media, whatever you want to do. But if you guys want to have a way to get involved financially supporting Israel, the best thing you can do for us right now is go to operationetai.com. We'll put the link in the description. That's a project we started right after October 7th, and it's ongoing. Everything donated there goes straight to the highest priority and most critical needs in Judea and Samaria, which is where we are right now. So if you want to get involved financially to support Israel at this critical time, operationetai.com. All of that goes directly to supporting needs in Judea and Samaria. We'll put that in the description down below. But guys, please stay tuned. Please continue praying for Israel. Lots more details to come.